They told me not to come. "You're not welcome this year," my mother said, her voice trembling with a kind of shame she mistook for authority. My sister had convinced her, again, that I was the problem, that I brought drama, that my silence was toxic. I listened. I didn't argue. I just said, "All right." But as I hung up, I remember staring at the twinkling lights outside my window. The city was already dressed in Christmas cheer, every window glowing gold and red. Mine stayed cold, empty. That night, I poured a glass of wine, logged into my father's account, and began my own kind of Christmas preparation. It wasn't always this way. We were once the family, matching sweaters, picture-perfect smiles, the kind of people neighbors envied. My sister, Claire, was the favorite, always. I never competed. I thought blood meant loyalty. She was the golden one, the one who could never do wrong. When Dad had his heart scare last year, I was the one who drove him to every appointment, managed his meds, handled the bills. Claire showed up once, with flowers, and everyone called her an angel. I should have known. Favors fade fast and families built on appearances. When Dad recovered, Claire started whispering again about how I was controlling his money, how I liked playing caretaker. It took her 6 months to poison what I'd spent a lifetime building. And then the call came. "You're not welcome this year." Just like that, exiled. At first I thought I could ignore it, let them have their Christmas. But then I checked the family trust. My father's digital signature had been moved, accounts restructured. Claire's name had replaced mine. She'd convinced them I was unfit to manage it. That's when the heartbreak stopped, and the silence began. I didn't rage, I didn't cry, I studied. Every password, every login, every vulnerability. I built their trust after all. I knew their routines better than they did. I knew how to undo them without leaving a trace. Revenge, when done right, isn't about pain. It's about order. Restoring balance to a system that betrayed you. They thought cutting me off meant I'd disappear, but they forgot I was the one who handled everything: accounts, mortgage, online utilities, even the security system for their precious house. The week before Christmas, I started my work. Quietly, precisely. I changed the access credentials for every financial account. Not illegally, just reverting control to the original trust setup, the one that bore my authorization as executor. Their lawyer would later call it a procedural correction. I called it justice. Then came the house. They'd gone out of town to celebrate early at my sister's. Perfect timing. Using the spare key they'd forgotten I had, I entered. Everything was exactly as I remembered. Sterile perfection, scented candles, no trace of warmth. I replaced the locks, all of them, then reprogrammed the smart system. They'd return to find their faces unrecognized, their codes invalid. Christmas Eve, Claire posted a photo on social media. Her caption read, "Family, the ones who matter most." I almost smiled. By the time they sat down to dinner, their accounts were frozen, temporarily suspended pending verification. Their cards would decline at the restaurant, their online transactions halted. A digital silence to match the one they gave me. Meanwhile, I poured another glass of wine, watched the snow fall outside my window, and waited. It didn't take long. At 9:47 p.m., my phone buzzed. First Dad, then Mom, then Claire. I didn't answer any of them. I just watched the notifications stack up like confessions. The panic in the messages was almost melodic. "Why can't we access the account? The house won't let us in. Is this your doing?" I let them feel it, the cold isolation they'd gifted me. They showed up the next morning, Christmas Day, shivering, angry, desperate. I stood in the doorway of the house they'd banished me from. "How could you do this?" my mother hissed. I tilted my head. Do what? Secure what's mine? Or finally make you understand what not welcome feels like? Dad tried to speak, but the realization had already set in. This wasn't vengeance born of rage, it was consequence born of design. Claire's voice cracked. "You can't just—" "I can," I interrupted softly, and I did. I handed her a single envelope, documentation restoring the accounts to balance, the trust reset to legal order. Nothing stolen, nothing damaged, just corrected. "Enjoy Christmas," I said, stepping past them. "You wanted a family without me. Now you have one." The locks clicked behind me. Final, satisfying. I never went back. They spent weeks repairing the mess, pretending it was all a misunderstanding. To the world, we remained the perfect family, minus the one they erased. But balance had been restored. Revenge didn't give me joy. It gave me peace. It silenced the noise of betrayal and replaced it with clarity. I didn't ruin them, I just reminded them.